Today, we're diving into the wild world of Irish orchids. And trust me, if you're just picturing a pretty, delicate flower, you're in for a surprise. These plants are hiding some of the most cunning survival secrets in all of nature. Let's get into it. So, I really want you to think about this question. What if the most beautiful flowers were also the most cunning? Because, the story of Ireland's orchids, it's not just about being pretty. Oh no, it's a full-on drama of high-stakes deception, chemical warfare, and secret alliances that have let these amazing plants thrive where they really should. So get this. Ireland is home to 31 unique native orchid species. 31! And each one is like this tiny little marvel of evolution. They're what we call bioindicators, meaning they tell us so much about the health of the soil right beneath our feet. But honestly, how they manage to survive at all, well, that's the real story here. Yeah, exactly. Their survival depends on deception, strange alliances, and even intoxicating poisons. We're not talking about passive plants just sitting around waiting to be pollinated. Nope. These guys are active players in their own survival, and they're using a toolkit of strategies that would seriously put a spy novel to shame. So how on earth do they pull it off? Let's dive into the art of orchid trickery. This is where things start to get really clever. Okay. Check out this incredible contrast in strategy. On one hand, you've got the fly orchid. Now, this one is a master of what scientists call sexual mimicry. It has evolved to look, feel, and even smell so much like a female fly that hopeful male flies try to, mate with it. And in the process, whoops, they end up pollinating the flower. It's genius. But then you have the bee orchid. It has the same trick up its sleeve, but here's the catch. Its specific bee pollinator doesn't even live in Ireland. So, what did it do? It just adapted. It figured out how to self-pollinate. I mean, what a brilliant workaround to thrive without your partner. And believe me, the trickery does not stop there. Let's talk about the broadleaf hellebore. This is an urban survivor you might actually find in a city park, and it literally wages chemical warfare. First, it lures wasps in by releasing chemicals that mimic an aphid infestation, a wasp's favorite meal. But then, step 2, its nectar is laced with narcotic compounds. It basically drugs the wasp, making it all slow and disoriented. And as this poor, dazed wasp stumbles around the flower, it guarantees that pollen gets transferred. It's a tiny botanical mastermind at work. But here's the thing. The orchid's secrets aren't just about what's happening above ground. Maybe their most important, most critical partnership happens silently, in the dark, right beneath our feet. Okay, so this is absolutely crucial to understand. An orchid seed is basically like a speck of dust. It has almost no energy reserves of its own, so it literally cannot germinate by itself. It has to form a partnership with a specific type of soil fungus. This fungus provides all the nutrients the seed needs to spring to life. So you can put it this simply: no fungus, no orchid. It's that essential. And if you want the most extreme, mind-bending example of this, look no further than the incredible bird's nest orchid. This plant has taken that dependency to a whole other level. For starters, it has no chlorophyll, which means it can't make its own food from sunlight like most plants. Instead, it lives its entire life as a parasite, leeching off its fungal partner, which is itself connected to the roots of trees like beech or hazel. It can live for years, completely underground, only sending up this strange, pale, honey-colored flower spike when the conditions are absolutely perfect. So, if you want to see these masters of survival in their natural element, there is one place in Ireland you just have to go. It's a true orchid paradise, the Burren. I mean, just look at these numbers. They're astonishing. Out of all 31 native orchid species in Ireland, an incredible 27 of them can be found in this one region, the Burren in County Clare. That kind of density, that kind of diversity is globally significant. So what is it that makes this place so ridiculously special? Well, it really all comes down to the rock. The Burren is famous for this incredible limestone landscape, and it acts like a giant storage heater. It soaks up the sun's warmth all day and then releases it really slowly, creating this unique microclimate. And what that means is you get plants from the warm Mediterranean growing right next to species you'd normally find way up in the Arctic or in alpine regions. It's this crazy botanical melting pot, and orchids absolutely thrive there. But of course, this incredible story of survival is now up against some very modern challenges. The future for these amazing plants is, it's both fragile and precious. Now, this data reveals something really fascinating and a little unexpected. while orchid hotspots, we're talking areas with 16 or more species, have just plummeted in Great Britain. They've actually increased in Ireland. Now, this might be partly because we're getting better at surveying and finding them, but it also shows that Ireland is a critical stronghold for these plants in this part of the world.
But it really is a delicate balancing act. The single biggest threat is probably agricultural intensification. When you use a lot of fertilizers, you help these really aggressive grasses grow, and they just quickly choke out the smaller, slower-growing orchids. But there are solutions. In the Burren, there's this ancient tradition called winterage, where cattle graze the hills in winter. This clears away all the scrub and allows the orchids to just flourish in the spring. And all across the country, you have these dedicated citizen scientists who are monitoring these precious populations, and they're providing the crucial data we need for conservation.
And the power of that citizen science? It's just incredible. In July 2022, the 100,000th record was submitted to Ireland's biodiversity portal. 100,000. And what was it? It was a frog orchid, discovered right in the heart of the Burren. It's just amazing proof that public passion is one of the most powerful tools we have for protecting these species. So that brings us right back to where we started, with the big question. For thousands of years, these orchids have proven they are absolute masters of deception, of adaptation, and of survival. But as our climate and our landscapes change faster than ever before, the ultimate question still remains. Can their remarkable evolutionary toolkit keep up? The fate of Ireland's most cunning and beautiful flowers really does hang in the balance.